Good morning, everyone. My name is Vomesh Bhole, and I welcome you to this session on AI and automation in drug development. As a part of our course in the managerial ethics and social responsibility, this topic is not only timely but also incredibly transformative for the pharmaceutical industry. For today's discussion, we will e- explore how AI and automation are redefining the way drugs are developed and discovered, tested, and brought to market. And this is how we will navigate these changes in responsibly. So, yes, welcome and let's dive into AI and automation drug development. So, why did I choose this topic for my project? Drug development is traditionally a long and expensive process. So yes, it takes over a decade and costs like $1 billion to bring a single drug into the market. So this is where AI and automation are now being used to reduce this bioburden, speeding up the discovery and optimizing the trials and lowering the risk to the patients as well. When in the pharmaceutical companies like Pfizer, Novartis, and Moderna are already using these tools to enhance innovation and competitiveness, smaller companies are also gaining more insights on how to develop their medications using this generative AI. In the regulated and ethically sensitive industries like in the pharmaceutical industry, we understand how to integrate AI responsibility is essential. So, in the rapidly growing environment in the pharmaceutical sector, AI is really important to fasten this all process. So, this is why this topic matters, and each and everyone needs to learn more about how this will fasten our growth and medication development in the early stages. So here's what we will achieve by the end of this presentation. Basically, the learning objectives of this presentation. We will understand how AI and automations are being applied in the drug development department, examine the real world examples of those technologies in action. Another part is to identify the ethical and regulatory concerns involved in the pharmaceutical development of nano-sized drug development, discussing the opportunities and the limitations which we should be aware of before even starting the drug development using the AI and other generatives AI as well. So now let's dive into our traditional challenges that these technologies are trying to solve into our upcoming slide. So the traditional drug development challenges. Let's talk about status quo. Okay, this often takes like 10 to 15 years to develop a single drug, which merely costs like 2.5 billion US dollars for a single drug. Okay, many compounds fail in the early stage trials, wasting all the valuable time and resources, and then the literature review. Even the smaller experiments take a lot of time. The stability takes a lot of time. So all this thing hugely impact more in the drug development. There's also a huge bottleneck in identifying viable drug targets and managing clinical trials in the data. So, as the result, there's immense pressure on pharmaceutical companies to innovate and reduce the development burden, the time span at which the rate of the drug development has been going on. So, this is where the AI and automation comes into the play, where the time is getting reduced and we will get to know more information, more results, more quicker on the successful trials. So let's dive into our next slide of AI in the preclinical research. So basically this is like a start of the research, not after the end of the drug is developed. So basically once we start researching about a drug, which is called preclinical research, where AI is making a big impact. Machine learning algorithms are also used to analyze biological and chemical data to identify promising drug targets, where we also choose different excipients and different types of sorts of drugs, which are drugs and routes of types of drug formulation, which will be generated by AI. Instead of screening all the thousands compounds manually, we can use this AI to predict which molecules are more likely to blend with the effective target of the drug, basically the active pharmaceutical ingredient. Let's say if we take an example of the British company called Scandia developed an AI designed module that entered human trial in less than a year, which is miraculously major leap in the speed. This reduces the trial and error that allows researchers to focus their resources more effectively onto the drug development, not onto the stages of the drug development. So yes, this is where the AI is being playing a big picture in the pharmaceutical industry. Let's dive into our next slide, which is automation in the laboratory processes. Yes, there is a lot of automation happening into the laboratory techniques and experiments. We conduct lab experiments, smaller ones, higher ones. So all this thing through high throughput robotic systems that can test thousands of components simultaneously, something that would be immensely manually incapable of manual labor to do that. So liquid handling robots and automated imaging systems reduce human error and ensure more consistent even in the four digits column. One of the example, which is in the Pfizer's COVID-19 vaccine, developed relied heavily on the automated testing and the data analysis, also allowing them to achieve record-breaking speed of the drug development. So basically what we get from this is, in short, that automation doesn't save time. It boosts the accuracy and the reliability of the testing, which is far most the important point at which the drug is being developed. Accuracy and effectiveness is one of the things where we are lacking more in the human labor department. Let's dive into our next slide, which is clinical trials, AI and clinical trial design, where we start with the clinical trials are another area where the AI is being transforming the game. AI can also help us identify the right patient populations using the real world data. This is unimaginable real world data and medical records of those persons, improving recruitment and also reducing dropout rates as well. So once we have this all, the predictive models can also optimize the dosage and also monitor the patient responses in the real time, which is supporting adaptive trial designs. Once, let's say, a optimized formula is being developed or is being predicted by AI, which is later on inserted into the patients, which will lead to faster and more efficient trial and then reduce the unnecessary exposure to the patients. It will also help to reduce the cost and ethical burden of the trials that fail due to poor planning. So everything using this AI generated model will give us effectively good results and efficient results, X factor where a patient medicines should be delivered. Let's dive into our next slide, which is regulatory and ethical concerns. Of course, yes, using this AI in the pharmaceutical industry isn't without its challenges. One of the major issue is risk explainability, which is if an AI model recommends a particular compound, regulations like FDA need to understand why this particular compound has been regulated and why this particular compound, at what ratio it has been added into the drug. Privacy is more concerned, especially when the AI tools are analyzing patients' health records. We must also comply with the GDPR and HIPAA and other privacy laws which concerns more of the patient's health and patient's security for their privacy of their medications. There's there's the risk of bias. AI system trained or non-representative data can yield misleading or even harmful results in the patients. Ethical AI development requires transparency, accountability, and human oversight after all. So all these things have been regulated by the FDA and the regulatory commissions of each and every company while using the AI. Let's dive into our next topic, which is opportunities versus limitations. Um, Both are balanced for their look. Opportunities may include faster development, lower cost, improved accuracy, and enhanced personalization, which is for most the important points of drug development. Let's go through the limitations, which involves data quality issues, regulatory uncertainty, and risk of over-reliance on automated decisions. We also face infrastructure gaps, especially in low resource settings, where these technologies may not be feasible. Understanding both the sides help us to adopt the responsibility and the sustainability, where I still believe that the opportunities are far more better than the limitations of using the AI or the generative AI in using the drug development or to fasten the drug development time span. To summarize this presentation, all the AI transformation in the pharmaceutical industry, I would say that AI and automations are revolutionizing the way the drugs are being developed. So we will see, and they are also helping companies to move from guesswork to data-driven decision making. However, these benefits come with ethical, legal, and operational challenges, which in fact, as in the future leaders in this space, uh, I mean, we should be able to aim balance both innovation and responsibility at the same time. That's why my goal, personal goal, using this AI generative is to responsibly play with all these factors and also don't not to hamper the results data by using repetitively generated results using the AI and to check the efficiency of the drugs as well. In the closing, AI will not replace scientists. Basically, I'm also a scientist, but scientists who use AI effectively will lead the next era of the pharmaceutical innovation. So, if you're a scientist like me and working in a pharmaceutical development industry, AI using the scientists who use AI will effectively uh, lead the pharmaceutical evaluation, being proactive and ethical and collaborative with which will help us to unlock the true potential of these technologies. Thank you all for your attention, and I hope this session gave you more clear understanding on how AI and automation can reshape the pharmaceutical industry, plus help a scientist to develop his career in a more artificial fact. If you like to explore more, I would also recommend using the FDA's paper on artificial intelligence in drug development. The articles from Nature Reviewed Drug Discovery. Yes, this book of Deep Medicine by Eric Topol is one of the good factors which you can use to assess the AI industry. And of course, the chapter 12 of our macro health textbook. Thank you again, and feel free to reach out to me for any questions or any comments or any suggestions, whichever you have. Thank you for your time and patience. Peace out.